Hello, friends. Welcome to Annamalai Adimai. Uh, this evening, let's contemplate on the wisdom of our saints on time management, how to avoid procrastination, to not postpone. Now, invariably, all of us have this tendency of postponing what we can do today. We would tend to do it tomorrow, or until the last moment. And this is how generally all of us have always been working. There are obviously going to be some golden exceptions to this rule, uh, but the matter is that most of us, if we have a normal distribution curve, we would have more people who come into this bracket of those who love to postpone rather than those who would like to act immediately, let alone act proactively. This is an innate human tendency. This is a general disease which is popularly known as lethargy. Now, how do we overcome this lethargy? Now, the best way is to look at the ancient wisdom that has been given to us, handed down to us by our wonderful, venerable saints all over our country. Now, here we are going to examine three saints who walked in different spheres of time, and all of them blessed our Bharat Desha. Now, once we contemplate on their teachings, we should hope that we move in the right direction towards eschewing procrastination. So we start with the oldest and most divine language in the world, Tamil. சூழ்ச்சி முடிவு துணிவெய்தல் அத்துணிவு தாழ்ச்சியுள் தங்குதல் தீது, says the divine poet Thiruvalluvar. Now, what does the divine poet guide here? He says that once you have the courage to execute a decided course of action, if delaying such action would lead to undesirable consequences. So you must be steadfast in your resolve to execute what you have decided to embark upon after a careful consideration. Now, the Tirukkural is an absolute ocean of wisdom, and there is so much that we can cherish and learn from this wonderful teaching of Thiruvalluvar. Now, here, sitting in Chennai, in fact, take great pride in the fact that I hail from the same place that this divine poet also hailed. It's known as Mylapore. And there is also a temple dedicated to Thiruvalluvar in Mylapore. Now, having seen and been blessed by the divine poet Thiruvalluvar, now we move on to Kabir Das ji. Kabir Das ji in his Doha says, Kal kare so aaj kare so ab, pal mein parlay hoegi, bahuri karega kab. So this means that what you need to do tomorrow, you do it today. What you need to do it today, do it now. There may be a sudden deluge. And thereafter, when will you do what you were supposed to do? This is what Kabir Das ji, the Sufi saint, says. Friends, let's remember that Kabir Das ji was an exemplary saint. And when someone asked him, he actually decided to drive home the importance of Guru. He said, if Guru and Govind were to stand in front of me, I would definitely give the first respect to the Guru. So that was his greatness. And Kabir Das ji also says, this is a fantastic inspiration to all of us to eschew procrastination and to ensure that our time management practices are better. And finally, we come to someone who's more contemporary than these two saints. She is the resplendent Divine Mother, Mira Alfasa of Pondhicherry. The mere mention of her name, Mother, instills confidence and courage in all of us. She was such a great saint, and her resplendent glory spread to all parts of the world. And sitting here in Pondhicherry, the Divine Mother blessed all of us. Now, the mother had actually composed a short story, and the crux of the short story was there was a little boy who had two paths. The one path looked a little difficult, the other one looked pretty short, and so he decides to take the shortcut. And so, having decided to take the shortcut, the boy just keeps walking on and trudging along very merrily. He sees a lot of birds, a lot of plants, and it looks very nice. But there are some voices which keep telling him, no, you're going on the wrong path. Son, come back to the right path. The boy refuses to listen to those voices, and he just ignores and he just walks on and on happily, merrily. And then the afternoon does come about, and then he's just going on, and then the voices and the whispers are growing louder. No, no, even now there is time. You need to change your course. This is not the course that you should be treading upon. And the young boy refuses to listen again, and he goes on and on and on. And finally he sees a lot of devilish evil creatures around him. He sees people trying to get on from the cliffs. They are hanging, but eventually they're all falling off. All these things really horrifies him, but still undeterred, he still moves on and on and on. And finally he sees a castle. Now he feels very happy that he has come to something very good, and now he decides to move into the castle. The moment he sets full into the castle, the the castle collapses upon him, and the boy then suddenly falls down, and he actually fell down from his bed. This is a story of a young boy who thought that he would postpone his homework to tomorrow rather than doing it today. And that thought had actually resulted in this, well, we should say nightmare, not dream, isn't it? And he wakes up with a great degree of self-realization that he ought not to procrastinate, and he ought to do things immediately. Friends, time management is something which is very sacrosanct for all of us, and if we could judiciously use our time, things would be really wonderful. And of course, I must definitely try and imbibe the knowledge of the saints which I have shared with you, and I should definitely try to imbibe and practice what was just shared with all of you. Friends, on a lighter note, if I could say, kindly avoid postponing anything, including clicking on the subscribe button. Thank you, friends. We'll catch up with you later.